Perfect. Right. So, welcome everyone. This is the first, hopefully, of many live Discord sessions where we can talk to each other. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about the business. Seeing as there's only 6 or 7 of us, we should start off by introducing ourselves. Tell us what you'd like to see in the platform, or what you'd like to see with OVR, and what your current projects are on. So would you like to start like that, or would you like me to start by explaining about Dream Kollab?
Why don't we start? Let's just do a little round the room. How about that?
Perfect. Ansi, or who's got their mic unconnected? Do you want to start us off, Afghar?
Yeah, sure. I'm based out of Miami, Florida. I work in the fine arts community and in real estate development. And a little hobby of mine is in software development and full stack development. And so I got into this pretty recently, just learning all about the different aspects of the augmented reality technology. Immediately saw use cases for a lot of my commercial projects, and I've been in the process of educating myself and getting deeper into the development community, both myself and through a team that I'm hiring right now, to build out a lot of the content and the assets and to prepare for a commercial launch using OVR.
Great stuff, great. By commercial projects, is it like building, it's in the property industry?
Some of them, yeah, but what I'm looking at right now is actually for fine arts installations.
Okay, well, fantastic. I know there's loads of people have been doing art exhibitions through OVR. I've been viewing a few of them. It's been great. So Hexagonal is a YouTuber, and so is Hexadize actually. Maybe that I know Hexagonal's got seemingly a million different locations around the world, according to his YouTube channel. Would you like to speak a little bit about what you're up to, Hexagonal?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd love to have a million locations, but I actually have 310. I mean, I guess that's a good start. Actually, I have some in Miami, Florida as well. So yes,
You're bidding me up.
yeah, I actually lived there for a year, like 7 years ago. Really enjoyed it. Anyways, yeah, I got into VR like at the end of March, I believe, and I really got interested in this project. I started to invest, yeah, in a lot of locations as Dream collapsed, and then well, I saw that there was an opportunity for me to start a YouTube channel. So I did create my own YouTube channel. At first, it was hard, difficult. I made some yeah, shitty videos, you can say. But I think I got better at it, and now I think I found my concept with these OVR news videos that I make every day, and basically, yeah, I've been totally dedicated to it for the last 3 months, providing you with the latest of your news. So yeah, but I have a lot of project around OVR with Dream Collab. Dream Collab is actually my cousin. So now you guys know.
We're family. Hexagonal actually introduced me to OVR. Was it back in? We both researched it for about a month before we both got into it. So it must have been about February, maybe late February, early March. And then we I was adapting from a professional services marketplace that I was building, that I've been trying to build for like been building for about 4 years, just from concept to learning how to code all the different bits and building it from the ground up. And then I came across this, and it ticked all the boxes. From like I've been studying law for the past 2 years, but before that I was a graphic designer and did a lot of freelance work. And I found, which is one of the announcements that I was going to give to the developers, is that from my experience in the freelance world, I want to implement the new, it's not been done before, system for ensuring that they get paid fairly, and to make sure that it doesn't just end up. Sorry, Ansie's just messaged. Oh, okay. No worries, Ansie. I'll read out your messages if you want. She's in Tunisia. No worries. So essentially, we are going to, for the developers, we want to make sure it's fair and equitable for the developers. So what we are doing is that the idea generation will be classed as about 30% of the overall brief. Then the development of itself is worth about 40%. And then the final adjustments is worth about 30%. So it means that if a buyer, because I found one of the biggest things that I've got is that they get you through the ideas generation, you build them the thing, and then just as they're about to pay you, they go, there's about 40 different things that you need to adjust. Like, they've spoken to other people, want to get the other stuff, and then they just like run off and use your designs, and it's hard to get paid. With our structure, we are the middleman, so they pay, and then it gets developed, and then we start off with that basis of 30, 40, 30, and then we move from there to make sure it's fair. I've studied ADR, which is alternative dispute resolution. I've studied the laws around running a marketplace like this under English law, but which has a foundation in America, in Australia, and we're also connected to through Strike Connect. So we're fully regulated to operate in 44 different countries. So that's all good. That's part of the news that I'll announce later on.
Interesting.
It's just a fairer concept, and I ran through it with someone who'd been helping me advise. They work in like the marketing industry, and they work a lot with freelancers and like freelance graphic designers, developers, and all that sort of stuff. And it was through her. She's absolute genius. She went Cambridge and all that, but she loves art, and she's using that in the marketing industry. And so we sat down together and we came up with this approach. So I think it's a great way to implement it, and it will differentiate ourselves from Upwork and the rest of them. So for developers, you should be well incentivized to work on the platform, but that is, for the buyers, that is just their basis. So if we can show that you've accepted the idea generation, but then they've shown that they've just not got the capabilities to fulfill the actual brief, but they've got this idea. You'd have to show that you've accepted like maybe a sketch or like a brief overview, and they need to show that they've got the capabilities to carry on. But it's usually the last third, which is the bit that people, when the whole brief collapses and the deal collapses, and then the artist is out of pocket and the buyer runs away with and steals, and it's a shame. And so we're trying to resolve that. And this is coming from someone who's worked in that as a freelancer for the best part of 8 years. Until I came up with this concept. And I was just like, right, okay, well, I'm going to fix this issue. And then it's developed into an OVR platform, which is sort of a hybrid between a rental place and then like Fiverr. So it's mishmash of like Airbnb and maybe Fiverr sort of thing. But with a...
You have a live domain now?
Pardon?
Do you have a live domain now?
Yes, dreamkollab.com. It's dream.
Okay.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
it's fully operational now. We're just sorting out bugs and stuff. I'll put a link in the chat. Here we go.
Hexidizing.
Hexadize. Yeah, so Hexadize. Would you like to share a little bit about what you're up to these days?
Yeah, man, there's so much that's really going on. It really kind of seems like it all happened so fast. I'm with Hexagon Nut, where it was, I think mid March, late March, where I really got into the OVR project, and then it was because of him, because of y'all, that I really got motivated even to start the YouTube channel and just kind of share with the world what we're doing. When I first saw it, the first thing that I really thought of was, because I have kids, so the first thing I thought of was education, and I realized somebody's going to be using the virtual and augmented platforms to teach some education somewhere, and who's going to be teaching my kids, and what are they going to be teaching them? And so I kind of really wanted to be a big part of that, so I started scooping up as much as I could, really kind of close to my hometown at first, and then I was like, oh wait, there's money in this too, outside of just helping people. So I went and bought some Disney parks and just kind of focused on that for a little while. Now we've got, because of the YouTube channel and the kids and things like that, there's been some artists that saw what they're doing, and so we're really kind of picking up some traction, and getting other people are wanting to get involved and are already getting involved, and it's really cool. But that's our main focus, I think, is getting the tools and the education and the development out there. I'm not a developer. It's just, I have a dream, you know?
Next your name. That's awesome. Well, hey man, I follow you.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, in OVR Invest, would you like to jump in? I think Buxton Phillips is going to be joining us shortly. He runs the OVR Views Telegram chat. I don't know if you guys are on that, but I'd highly recommend. There's usually some great ideas bouncing around on that Telegram chat. Is it
Okay, so yeah, OVR Invest is saying that he doesn't speak English, so
on peut parler en français.
he's just listening. I mean, I guess that would be a good idea to actually create maybe a channel dedicated to the French language, maybe.
For sure.
Because it looks like some people, yeah, I mean, myself, I'm French, obviously. This guy is French, the other guy is from Tunisia, so
well,
there seem to be a lot of French speakers, so this may be a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing that
like
this, but
would people be would people be okay if he spoke in French for a little bit, and then maybe both me and Hexagonaut can translate back into English?
Oh yeah,
Go
for
for it.
sure.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
Okay, I'm saying he's probably listening. Okay. Tu peux venir parler en français et puis nous on traduit en direct ce que tu dis. Ok, parfait.
Perfect.
Allô?
Allô. Vous allez bien, monsieur OVR Invest? Ou madame? Ou n'importe.
I think this is a guy.
Okay, Mister.
Hello.
Well, whilst OVR Invest is sorting out his mic, would Mr. Whipper, would you like to take the stage?
Yeah, for sure. What's up, everybody? My name's Whipper. I sort of stumbled upon OVR just because, like, I was screwing around one Saturday night with Decentraland, and I'm like, man, this is such a cool concept, but I'm like, whoa, everything is so expensive here. because I think I read an article about some casino that invested a lot of money into Decentraland. And then I just started looking at some other players, and I'm like, oh my God, OVR is so super cool because like you can really relate to it because it's like building on planet Earth as opposed to like Decentraland or just like some made up land. So like I just started screwing around and like putting bids and trying to buy property, and it's just like it's really interesting. Um, Now that I have the properties though, like I'm not really sure what happens from this point. So it's going to be very nice to see how the technology evolves. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to learn a little bit more about this project and yeah, chat with you guys and get acquainted with like what's happening with the technology.
Awesome.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah. So, in terms of the technology, we've well, at the moment you can only buy through OVR. What Dream Kollab allows you to do is rent the land for fiat. So we've got two parts of our business. We've got the commercial side, which I'll explain shortly, but we've also got the website, which in itself is split into two more parts. Oh, welcome, Kebra. Great to have you here. Yeah, so we are trying to get
Oui, monsieur.
Bonjour, Monsieur Kebra.
Hello.
Hello. How's the climbing in the Alps?
Yeah, it was okay. It was a bit above my level, but I succeeded anyway.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Yeah, so we're
Very good.
just doing a brief introduction with all the people, find out what people are doing with the project. Whipper has just said that he's bought a load of land and he's a little bit unsure about how the technology is going to evolve, but he's interested to see, and it's going to be great. So what Whipper could do through Dream Kollab, he could list the land for rental on Dream Kollab. This will allow people to find your land and rent it out for fiat. So we are connected through Strike Connect, as I mentioned before. So we can onboard sellers from 44 different countries, and people can buy from using 180 different currencies. So Whipper, I don't know where you've got your locations, but it would be great to have you on the dream team, as I like to call you all. So
Can I just jump in and ask a quick question?
yes, of course.
I noticed that some parts of the platform are KYC. With regards to renting out property, would the renter or the person renting have to be KYC'd or is it
only the seller needs to be KYC'd, and then the buyers buy through the seller's page or the product page, and it operates through that means. So we only need to know the seller, which means that, well, that's just the government regulations. We need to know who's selling on the platform.
When you say selling, does your website also facilitate sales or just renting?
Sorry, just renting. I mean selling the service or renting the land. Eventually, it will facilitate selling. Our aim is to become sort of like a central trading platform, a bit like Binance or Coinbase, but for OVR land, a bit like a digital real estate agent for OVR and other AR metaverses that appear in the future. We've focused on OVR now because it's the most decentralized one. There's other competitors that aren't at the same level as OVR. Might be onboarding them in the future, but OVR is the one that we see the most potential in and want to follow. In terms of whereabouts have you purchased? What's your tactics been in purchasing? Have you been going for like high footfall or anything like that?
I've bought I bought some land in like a bunch of stadiums. I purchased some lands in like some big malls in like North America. I don't know, just some like random spots that I like to like either vacation at just for the sake of being like, yo, I own that. And just like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the malls and the stadiums will be great for advertisers later
Yeah.
down the line. In terms of the education, I think Hexadize was talking about education for his kids. This is the sort of commercial stuff that we're trying to do at the moment. We see great potential in OVR becoming a cheap platform for immersive learning experiences. So we're focusing on, the perks of this is that it helps spread the word to like a high footfall areas such as like museums, schools, and stuff like that. So we get more and more people getting exposed to OVR and then come in onto Dream Kollab, and then the advertisers will come in, and this should lift up the value of the rental and the land value of the land. This is the strategy. Well, one of our strategies that we're pursuing, which should be interesting. I've just seen Buxton has just joined.
Yeah, maybe we
Welcome.
can finalize the introduction of everyone.
Yes, of course. So I'll explain
Okay.
a little bit more about the business and the commercial contract, and as I mentioned before, the 3-part payment for resolving disputes between developers and buyers. So I'll begin now. Dream Kollab aims to be the central marketplace in the emerging market that is AR metaverses. Dream Kollab is comprised of 2 sections: an online marketplace at dreamkollab.com and commercial contracts. Currently, this technology is relatively unknown. Therefore, in order to increase the demand for our online marketplace, the public first needs to be made aware of the technology. Our solution to implement immersive learning experiences in museums, schools, universities, and other high footfall areas or foot traffic areas with large turnover of new people who could benefit. We classify these types of projects as commercial contracts. As it stands, implementing immersive learning experiences would begin by institution, then city by city, then nation by nation. This approach is an embodiment of the think global, act local philosophy. Regarding our website, the online marketplace was built with 3 principles in mind: scalability, simplicity, and self-contained. The business model was designed to be a self-contained ecosystem once up and running. This means that you can create your own space on the platform. You can create, with the premium membership, you will be able to create your own discount codes for customers. You'll be able to upload multiple hexagons. You'll have a lot more autonomy to create your own business under this marketplace. This is like, you can hold your own business, your own operation, whether that's as an individual or as a corporation, through the website. It's and I hope this interests everyone. What back to the community. What would you like to see? What are your needs and desires, and what would you like to see on the platform? Or would you like me to explain a bit more about some of the features on the current platform as it is today?
Dream, if you don't mind, I'd like to say something here.
Yes.
So personally, what I see is the biggest challenge to the platform, and really the biggest need in terms of my needs for commercial development is, one, we have to have a ability to create more shareable content, something like the Snapchat button, or something like a button on the in-app screen that gives you the ability to capture content so that you can create shareables. I mean, the shareable content creation aspect is just kind of a no-brainer in terms of like who's like going to be able to interact with the content. If you're if you're immersed in some crazy installation space in the middle of a museum garden, and your friend is taking a video of you, and you're in the middle of all this stuff, and it looks like a shark's biting your head off. Who knows what the situation is? But that's content that would basically obsolete Snapchat, because Snapchat just uses very basic augmented reality, and the ability to make that immersive with your environment, geolocalized, would be insane. So I personally just really want the shareable content, but then also I would like the ability to create chained experiences where we can connect multiple different land units together and create maybe experiences that span city blocks. Because my development purpose is specifically, I own the majority of Miami, particularly the public spaces, and I have some very, very poignant use cases where I think that it's almost ready to be rolled out. I could easily get the PR, all of the press coverage, and have all of the right names sign up for it. And I'm sure that would help us all, because it would give us a lot of press for the caliber of work that I'm talking about doing. But I feel like the technology is just not there yet without a couple more of these things. The shareable content, the, chaining land together to create larger experiences, and then being able to does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you guys see those limitations, or?
Yes, I actually spoke to PDX about this earlier today. He said they're in the development pipeline, because I was asking him about showing one scene to multiple lands. So let's say you're targeting like fashion industry, but then he also mentioned that you will be able to merge hexagons together to create these larger scenes. So yeah, definitely. In terms of even stuff like shopping and all that sort of stuff, is definitely going to need to merge them together, and we are quite limited at the moment. They are quite limited because we're separate from OVR. We're just a marketplace, but I do chat with the developers and people relatively frequently. So
I noticed that a lot of people are buying land inside buildings. I feel like the challenge with purchasing indoors as opposed to larger public spaces, which has been my primary acquisition strategy, is that indoors you have a lot more limitation on the GPS and the SLAM technologies. So you basically need a third level of local level data, either LiDAR on the phone, or ideally Bluetooth repeaters for like some more permanent installations. If there were to, I don't know if that's in the pipeline at all for the guys, but if they were to implement Bluetooth repeaters to get positioning of objects within buildings down to the millimeter, because it really is that accurate, that would just completely eliminate the drift and bring the quality of indoor experiences up to that, what I would call the investment grade threshold. Do you guys feel like it's there now, or
it's not,
do you see a need for that?
It's not there yet. There definitely is a need for that, especially when they're trying to do like, I saw that they released the video where the woman's showing to get the yoga mats or around the shop. It's like an AR bot that goes and finds finds like some yoga equipment or some sort of clothing. Definitely, if that's going to take off, that sort of commercial side, we 100% need very, very specific positioning. I've got a few contacts in the property industry here in Manchester, and I've spoken to them about it, and that is also a limitation that we are facing. But it will come. In terms of the immersive learning experience, this isn't really as relevant right now. But when it comes to shops and comes to like fully like, because with this technology you can pretty much make it VR experience. Have you ever? I don't expect you have. There's a VR bar in London, and I've forgotten the name of it now, but it's essentially you walk in, you put on some glasses, and then the whole system is mapped to the architecture of the inside of the bar. And it would be fantastic if we could implement that through OVR. But you'd have to merge hexagons, and also we were testing. I asked a few months ago whether they could make sure that the objects always open up in the same direction, or maybe like a feature on the SDK that ties it to north or something. Because otherwise, if you open it in the wrong angle, then it just doesn't map over the architecture.
Exactly. You almost need like some things to just be anchored in a physical location and not move.
Yes, definitely.
That would solve so many of my problems if that were the case. I'm really like waiting for my larger scale investment of my time into this project until some of these issues are fixed, because I have some access to capital and access to commercial partners that could make a very big scene of this immediately. I just don't want to put my foot in my mouth by developing something and launching it and having a bunch of hiccups. You know, it's got to be quite perfect when you roll it out at that scale.
100% agree. That's why I've held back on that and focusing more on the immersive learning for the time being, because getting a engine to disassemble, for example, or
yeah, exactly,
because it's all built on like Metalworks and in 3D systems.
Yeah, the stuff that Hexadize is doing is really cool.
Yeah, 100%. I do enjoy watching his videos.
Exciting, as I said.
What do you think is the timeline for like the next big implementation and improvement for developers? Like what did it sound like if you do have a relationship with the developers? Does it sound like they're close to any materially large improvements?
They were talking about adding this Unity software for the developers to be able to build some crazy experiences, crazy content. But as far as we know, like they've only been saying, "Oh, soon," but they haven't told us any specific date yet. So
yeah.
So yeah, we are really looking forward to this edition, because it will be
Kebra,
next level content basically.
Kebra did
and
I think Kebra has just unmuted his microphone.
So maybe some other people, Lexidice, OVR Invest, Kebra, Meta Design, Arkham have their own.
Yeah, so this is Kebra speaking. So there has been a new release of the app. Now you can have direct links with the three words. Do you intend to add this functionality to Dream Kollab? I was just thinking about that, you know.
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, Kebra.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I just missed the start of it. Could you repeat that for me, please?
It's about the new app which has just been released, where you have the direct links to the app. I could not test it yet, but I think this should be something that you can add to Dream Kollab.
Yes, 100%. I was waiting for this. I need to sort that out, because I'm going to add it to some of the commercial projects as well. Because I've put together some test places on my location, so I'm gonna. Thank you very much, Kebra, for reminding me that that's being released now. 100%. I will probably add it straight after this. Would you like me to add an extra place on the product page?
Yes, probably. Yes, you know, for me, I see from some of my places, I would like to have to be able to direct people on two or on one or two or three specific axes, because some of mine have maybe 20 axes, so I don't expect to have 20 direct links, but maybe from one to three direct links to most
Well, what I
to the
can do,
most important axes.
what I can do is because I remember asking, we were discussing this with some of the developers, is getting, if I can figure out what the end of the URL is, I can then add it to the multiple hexes so they can just click onto it, and then it should just automate it. I'll have to look into what the link looks like, because then I could figure out a way so that not only are you just putting one, but it automatically adds on to every single one in the multiple hexes. I'll have a look into that afterwards. I'll download the app and look at the links. Thank you very much, Kebra.
Yeah. I actually have a suggestion for your website as well. I'm sure you already thought about that, but it would be to add like a section for the developers, like kind of a Fiverr like, where the developers would just describe what they can do, when they can build, and at what price, actually.
Yeah, so
That
Because
would be a great idea.
yeah, because a lot of people like are trying to personally, like I'm not good at building stuff like 3D stuff or whatever, I really rely on on other people to do that. And I know that a lot of people are actually trying to find some developers who know what they're doing to be able to put some content on their own exits. Of course, of course they would pay for it.
Yes. So at the moment, when you're creating a listing,
I'd pay for it.
There's two. There's
what do you think?
So yeah. There's
Kollab?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes. So at the moment, when you're creating a product, the developers have access to 3 more video elements, which can showcase their designs. Compared to when you go on to the rental, you get the Hexit information. You'll get a drop down. On the profile, I can meet out the profile a little bit, allowing them to put more images and stuff on their profile page, if that interests you as well. Or
I think you should. I mean, if it's possible, you should create like a dedicated section to the developers, like kind of a Fiverr like as I said, with the description of what they can do and at what price.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at the moment they can make their own profile. They can add stuff on there, and then every time they make a product, they can list out what price and what they do. So that just like you can. But
I mean, at least to me, like it's not clear enough right now.
Okay.
I know you can work on that, make it
For sure.
make it look better. I have no doubt about that. But to me, at least, like it's not clear enough in this for the developer side of it.
For sure, it'd be great. Do we have any developers in the chat today at the moment? I know CryptoSongs or Meta Designs develops. Is there any?
Yeah,
anyone else?
I think that's the last people who got in. Maybe they can introduce themselves.
Yeah, so we've not heard from Jay, and then we'll come back to OVR Invest at some point, and Meta Designed as well. So Jay or Meta Designs, would you like to introduce yourselves, or OVR Invest?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is Jay. So I'm not a developer, but I have access to some people out here. I'm a Canadian that lives in Kuwait, which is a really small, oil-rich country. and yeah, I'm just interested in OVR from, I don't know, maybe the last 16 weeks or so. And I bought quite a bit of retail space out here in Kuwait. So I follow very closely along everything that's going on. So as much as I can anyway. I'm quite busy with my day job, but I just try and keep up as much as possible on the channels. I dove in pretty deep into Blender, and I've met at least 5 people in my workplace that do Blender quite extensively. So I'm just trying to figure out as well where the future development channels are going to be, and how we can access those as quickly as possible. Really, that's the main thing. I kind of see it as maybe an 8th month, probably 8 or 9 months, before we start seeing more of these glasses coming on the market, and we want to be ready, basically, for when those markets hit, and just pay attention to the whole thing in a general sense. That's the only reason I joined today.
Oh well, fantastic.
Are you the guy who created you created some stuff on OVR, right? Are you Jay from who has a YouTube channel and stuff? Oh it's you. Okay.
That's me.
Okay,
I have a lot of crazy ideas. I worked in a lot of
that's good.
I worked in e-commerce in our company as well recently. The company I work for is quite large. It's I work in their head office, and I've worked in a few areas there here in Kuwait since I arrived, so the last 6 years. So e-commerce was one of my channels that I was really interested in that got me started, because I just spent a year in the logistics projects team. I just moved to Starbucks here. We have 934 Starbucks stores in Middle East, North Africa. I can't really buy all those, but certainly the company I work for owns a number of malls here in the Middle East, and I bought some of that space. So I kind of know where the interest of retails and brands are. We have 90 brands in our company, and there's a lot of really high-end stuff. I was pretty excited to actually see that recent release yesterday, I guess it was, because Kuwait is quite it's just a luxury brand environment, and it's such a small place. You can kind of get access to things quickly if you do it right, and I feel OVR is in the right space. So,
Fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. They only need to push the marketing way more than they've been doing. That's the only thing that I would say about OVR, but
it's interesting though the way they formulate themselves. Like it's almost not like a traditional crypto in many respects. So and the development is fast. Like, I mean, I worked with a lot of IT people, and just taking a project from a BRD state all the way to, from a business requirement document state all the way through to production through this last year or so. And I mean, what I see from OVR is actually remarkably quick from my perspective as well.
In terms of development, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of marketing, actually, maybe it's a good thing that they're not pushing it too soon. Actually,
I agree.
That's something I was thinking about as well. But
organic growth in crypto is a very good strategy. Let it grow organically, and it'll carry its own. It'll bring its own path, I think, through that method.
Guys, it's Whipper. I'm so sorry to be rude and to cut in. I only have a little bit more time that I could stay with you guys. I just had a question. It's a little bit unrelated. I'm wondering if maybe someone can answer it for me. It's just with regards to the light minted status when you own a property. So there's this methodology that it's on a Merkle tree of some sort. I guess I'm a little bit more used to crypto being owned in your wallet. I was wondering if someone could just comment on whether or not it's possible to see somewhere within the blockchain that you in fact do own the land as stated in OVR, as opposed to actually having to hard mint. And again, I'm sorry to cut in just like that, just because I really have a couple minutes left. I was wondering if anyone can answer that.
I think it's a very good question, and I think it would make sense to extract directly from the Merkle tree and to interpret it independently from OVR. That would give us a lot of confidence, definitely.
This will be possible actually. I just made a video on the optimism.
It's optimism. Okay.
Yeah, optimism update that from Ethereum, and so normally it should be done in August. So basically, they will get rid of the Merkle proof or whatever they call it, and we will be able to do that. So normally in August, and you will be able to see the transaction on Etherscan and everything. So normally it should come soon. But you know that Ethereum, they tend to postpone a lot of stuff. So hopefully in August. They already postponed it to August, so normally it should come in August.
Right. And when you click that button, update Merkle, will that eventually give you the option to hard mint if you choose to do so?
That's a good question. I actually haven't even tried. I only
Okay, because I've clicked that button, but like at least for me, like I don't see the option to hard mint anywhere. I guess maybe I'll take it up with within the channel, the OVR channels, but I don't want to take too much time and get a little bit off topic. But I was just wondering if anyone else has experience.
I did it for a few X's and it worked. I mean, I did the
How long did you have?
so
How
now I
long
can
did you
see
have?
them in OpenSea.
How long did you have to wait after you update the Merkle to hard mint?
I think you've got to
No,
pay
so
an extra-
first you say upgrade the Merkle, and then later you wait a few hours or a few minutes, it depends, and then you can hard mint, but you need to pay the fees.
Much is
Okay.
last time I saw it,
Something.
equivalent of about $16 worth of Ethereum to mint it. I didn't end up doing that. I've just left
per
it
single
lightly.
token.
Yeah, I think it's per land.
It's per land, yes, it's per land. So,
Oh,
so it's quite
Not
expensive.
economical.
Yeah.
So Kebra, I've hit that update Merkle on some of my land, and like it's been like 2 days, and I don't have the hard mint option. I'm wondering what's wrong.
I think you should ask because from what I remember, that's what I did. So,
Okay.
so I did first update Merkle, and then, but I had to wait, but only a few hours, and then I could pay the fees and do the hard minting.
Right.
Has anybody? I think that there might have been a problem that was introduced when they did the light minting, where it stopped. And I don't know if this is just the way that they batch the transactions, but has anybody else noticed that it stopped debiting their accounts for the closed auctions?
I think yeah, some people they
I saw some people posting about that, and I think that might have even happened for me as well too.
Yeah, because I noticed that, and the only reason I really noticed is because I'm kind of working with some larger transactions, and I was just like, wait, holy shit! I just bought $1,000 worth of land, and I did not have the money in my account to do that. How was I allowed to do that? And then it light minted it. It wasn't like it just like hit me with a a message after the fact saying, oh hey, we actually couldn't process your transaction. Like it went through, like the land was light minted. So I don't know if that's just because of the light minting process where they maybe their batching of all the transactions just like takes the transaction speed down. I don't know.
That's why I brought that up, because like it'd be nice to be able to like prove that you own it, as opposed to, how we say in crypto, like don't trust, verify. as opposed to like just trusting the OVR marketplace as a light minted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be ideal to move away, obviously, from that as soon as the most economical solution is found. But I just I thought that was like a pretty glaring bug.
Well, yeah, it's a pain. I'm just waiting for the value of the hexes to go up before, or at least I've made a return off them as a lightly minted entity before minting it, or unless I want to sell them for now. 100% we do need to verify. At the end of the day, if the value of this does rocket, which hopefully it does because you're bringing an extra digital layer and you have essentially broadcasting rights to all the hexagons that you have purchased, the value of that, once the world knows about it, should be very, very high. So maybe was it about $16 to hard mint it? Maybe not the worst. It could be a lot better. It's a bit annoying that it's so high, but yeah, I think it, as a business, it should balance out if we can spread the word and get it out there. But 100% verify shouldn't be trusted. It should be verified, or however you phrased it before.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw Meta Designed is in the building. How are we, Meta Designed? Is he? His icon seems to be flashing. Meta Designed, are you there? So Meta Designed actually helped. Okay, no worries. Meta Designed actually helped with testing the site before launch. So he's a good lad. But yeah, what else would I like to talk about today? Do you guys have any other questions regarding the site, regarding anything else?
No, maybe some feedback. So you were exploring proposing some other augmented reality launch. Do you have any concrete plans? I think it would be good to with Arcona maybe. So it's like NFT. So it's on the Ethereum's chain. So maybe
Arcona,
any plans or any comments?
I've got plans, nothing concrete yet. I want to link with Chainlink to try and make the renting for you guys as passive, as much of a passive income for the renters as possible. I'm working on proposals for like big institutions. I've had a couple meetings, but nothing concrete to feedback just yet. I'm working. I've got few different things. I've just moved over last Wednesday. It's been about a week now that I've been working on the commercial side. I've also been reaching out to people in Pennsylvania, South America, and all over the US through a accelerator sort of thing that links you with big business people. Like I've been chatting to people who work at KPMG and stuff like that. They're quite good. So I'm expanding my contacts into areas of into areas where people have no idea about OVR and probably don't even know that much about crypto, and just showing them the benefits of this technology. Even if they're not purchasing the technology but just renting, they can still access the benefit. So the plan is to get these big commercial institutions with high footfall areas using it as part of their day-to-day running of the museums, schools, businesses, so that more and more people are exposed to OVR. This is yes, a local approach, but if I can spread out these seeds with these institutions in different cities, then I can gradually spread out the use of OVR and get more and more people on board. It's going to be institutions take a while to accept to anything because they're quite large large businesses or large organizations with like a board, like they need 2 weeks to make a board meeting, to schedule a board meeting, and then if the board might have to go to the shareholders, which has got to then wait another 2 weeks, and then they've got to write up like the results. Yeah, so it could take a little bit of time before we really start seeing the fruits of this labor. But,
what's your strategy for that, Dream? Because like from my experience, I'm pretty much the only institutional guy that I've come across in all of these spaces, and that feels good, but it's also a little it's kind of weird being so early on something that has so much potential. What's your process for getting other institutions on board?
Yeah, so thanks for asking that. First of all, I had a few different strategies in mind. The first one, which I see the most potential in, and I'm going to pursue the most, is the immersive learning experiences, because I can undercut everyone else doing it. Like through OVR, I can just like offer them a way to museums to have access and what's it called? Display these experiences in their museum, and then through the link system, which Kebra mentioned before, I can put that into the audio apps that they have when you're walking around the museum. Then once I've got a few museums under the belt, so I've approached 5 so far. Once I've got those under the belt, I'll start talking to schools, primary schools, about getting the content from the museum distributed directly into the schools, so then the museums can curate content directly for schools, and then you're improving the education system as well. That's why I asked.
I like that.
That's the way that I'm going about it. It's going to take a couple months. It's not going to go straight away, but you got a high turnover of both tourists and locals going to the museums from all over the country, if not the world. Then you've got, in terms of the schools, you've got, in primary schools, you've got about 300 students in there, and then the high schools, it's like 400 students a year. So what's that times 7? Oh, 6 or 7. The numbers start skyrocketing anyway, and so just having like a live feed between the schools, museums, and universities will just be hugely beneficial on multiple levels. So that's the strategy I'm going for at the moment. I'm not restricted by needing like merged hexagons, and I'm not restricted by needing it to like be pinpoint, match the architecture of the building. I just need it to be either like one that they can open up on their desk, or one that they can open up in a hall, or in a classroom, or in the field or playground. That's where I'm heading initially in terms of the commercial thing. Not like, obviously I will be making a bit of a profit on there, but I would just like to make it as cheap as possible, get the word out there, and then once the word's out there, the advertisers come on board and get like just kickstart this whole industry.
Interesting.
That's my strategy. I don't know about.
That's cool. I'll send you a message later, man. That sounds really interesting.
Perfect. Yeah, fantastic. I'd definitely be up for that. Right. Well, we've been here for an hour. I don't know if Meta Design's got his technical difficulties sorted or not. If not, Buxton, would you like to speak? Buxton? Oh, okay. I think he might be having technical difficulties as well.
I mean,
yeah. We could just...
Yes, yeah. Unmute yourself, Buxton. Click on the little mic.
Oh, okay. He's at the office. Okay, perfect. Well, we might as well wrap it up there. That's been a good hour that we've been chatting. Does anyone want to say any last words or say anything else before we wrap it up?
That immersive tech, or the immersive education, so you're already building that? Or these are things that you can already do, or you've already done, or?
So we've got. This was one of the first questions that I asked the museums. But I know, like, that the museums use the 3D scanners to scan all these old because I live in Manchester, so it's all like Industrial Revolution museums and stuff around here, and they've got like students have done like 3D scans, museums have like 3D models of all of it, and of all the components that all fit together and how you see how it's all fit together. And so what you can do is you can just record the animation from the built view to the exploded view. So you download that and then you just place that. It's a lot of the work's already been done, so it's just working with them and their models to make it like adapted for OVR. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you know how to make that happen, and I'm glad that we'll be able to use it.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Great. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I'm sure we'll do another one. I don't know whether to do these weekly, monthly, or every fortnight. What would people like to see?
Probably weekly, since
let's hop on a weekly.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Well, thank you all.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I'll see you all this time next weekend, or next Wednesday, or maybe Buxton, you're in the office.
Maybe in the weekend it's better for everybody actually.
Well, we'll see what people are saying.
Some people are in America, some people are in Europe like us, so it's better the weekend, I guess.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let everybody just write down what their preferred day is, and I'll just take the majority. Because I can just make myself available. Because I just develop in my own time. So just let me know when you want. For the time being, it will be Wednesday. But if everybody comes to a consensus that they want to have it on another day, or majority,
is it possible to create a pool on this Discord channel, or what? Or maybe do it on the Telegram channel, because for sure on Telegram you can do it.
Yeah.
People
I'll put a link to
will
the
be able
Telegram.
to choose.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea as well, because I love Telegram. I don't know shit about Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer Telegram as well, to be honest. Yeah. But I mean, Discord is good as well. But yeah.
Here's a link to our Telegram official chat. Feel free to join. I'll put up a poll there in the next 5-10 minutes. And thank you all for Telegram's very simple button. Fantastic.
And by the way, guys, if you want subtitles in French and English, here you go.
Oh yeah, for the presentation. Yeah, I'm going to try and release these every day or so, every other day. I've got a lot of developing and other stuff to do, but I'll definitely be working on the tutorials for the website. This is a little introduction. We're just going through the homepage, and you can learn a little bit more about the business. And I'll look forward to speaking to you guys next week. Perfect.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for hosting.
Cheers. No worries. Cheers. Bye.
Merci beaucoup.
Pas de problème.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Ciao, ciao. Right. That's quite good one. Yeah, it sounded decent from what I heard. Oh shit, stop recording. End of recording. Oh shit.